Hello YouTube, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm actually going to be talking about how to save money in Vegas. So this is more for newcomers to Vegas or people who are planning a trip there. Someone actually told me when I was planning my trip that I'm going to be spending an easy $1,000 or more, no big deal. And they didn't know what kind of person I am. I do tons of research and tons of looking for coupons and deals before I even think about going on a vacation somewhere. So the first thing I do want to say is Vegas is, yes, very indeed expensive. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a rundown of what I did and what you guys can do when you go there. First of all, I spent about $150 on the hotel split price with Zach. So it was total $300. This includes the fees and everything. We spent about $200 on our flight and about $150 to $200 on activities and food and things like that. So total that comes up to $550, which is not bad. Other thing to note before we get into it is there's a lot of hidden fees in flights and hotels, especially the hotels in Vegas. So make sure to read everything, all the fine print, every single thing. Another thing is it's very cheap to go to, it's cheaper to go to Vegas from Sunday to Thursday rather than Friday to Sunday. First things first, food and water, the essentials. So I highly, more than highly recommend for you to bring your own reusable water bottle, because a small water bottle out there that's like this big is a little less than $5, and it is ridiculous. And if you're like me, who drinks tons and tons of water, especially in 110-degree weather, that's not gonna work. You can get jugs of water at Walgreens too. You can get for $2 for $5 and you're pretty much set for your vacation. But that comes to my next thing. There's no Walmarts, there's no Targets, there's none of that nearby. Recommend to just go to Walgreens or CVS and grab any of your essentials there. Take advantage of the deli section that they have. They have Caesar salads, sandwiches, everything. Like, you don't want to be going out for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You can get your breakfast and lunch stuff there. So the food in Vegas is so delicious and so good, and definitely worth every penny if you're going to the right places, at least. But it's pretty expensive if you don't plan everything ahead of time. So I highly recommend to look at all the restaurants they have there, look at their menus, look at what you want to eat, make sure you hit all those places while you're there. Probably plan out one place per day. And some can be pretty reasonable. Like, for example, In-N-Out Burger, you'll spend less than $10 for lunch. Flipping Good Burgers on the Fremont Street, you'll spend less than $10 there. And another place we checked out that was amazing, best pizza ever. You get these two huge massive slices of pizza for under $5. You cannot beat it at all. The second thing, alcohol. So this is where people think that Vegas is going to get really expensive and make you broke, and it can be. But if you plan on drinking, just think about it ahead of time. Grab a bottle from a drugstore like Walgreens or CVS. Like I said, you can get one for like 20 bucks instead of spending $20 from a bar that's at the Strip for one drink. So think wisely, be selective on what you drink, and just, you can still have fun. Third, pool parties and clubs. Alrighty, so typically a day that the club is open, there'll be like promoters out on the Strip next to it, and they'll be handing out tickets to people or grabbing people that they want to go to the club, and they'll be telling them like, hey, we can get you on the guest list, send me your give me your phone number, blah blah blah. They'll get you on the list, you'll be able to get into the club, which is pretty cool. Another place you can look for these Vegas promoters is on Instagram and Facebook, and you can also find websites on Google. Just make sure, like I said, always do your research. Do your research on their dress requirements, especially for guys, because they might not let you in, and they're very strict about their dress requirements. So, and that takes me to my next thing, clothes. If you do end up being that person who they say you cannot wear this and that and you still want to go, there is a lot of places you can buy clothes from on the Strip, in all the little hotel malls, everywhere. But they're very expensive, and that's probably why people just go to look at them and not buy anything. So just an FYI, there are Ross clothing stores on the strip. People don't really know about it, but they're there. And there's also a huge H&M in the Caesar's Palace that you can go to. Activities. So this is where people also think you need to spend tons of money in Vegas, but you really don't, because there's so much to see, especially if you're a newcomer. There is so much to do and see, and so many good vibes. So I'm gonna go over some free things that we did in Vegas that was pretty awesome. The Bellagio Fountains and Conservatory. There is a fountain show that is done every 15 to 30 minutes, and this is a must-do in Vegas. You have to see it. It's absolutely beautiful. The Mirage Volcano. I guess the volcano erupts every day at 8 p.m. and 9 p.m. They have a circus act every half hour from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. So you can go check out an act there at the circus. The Fremont Street Light Show experience. That is something everyone needs to go and see. It is so cool. They do a nice show experience like on the top of the Fremont Street. You just gotta go. Okay, I don't even need to explain it. It's just really cool. And there's lots of like street people who are like doing like little dances and acts, and it's really cool. They do that from dusk to midnight on the hour. And check their website for any performancers, people who sing, or bands and stuff like that. Next thing is the Flamingo Wildlife Habitats. I love this. It gave me my dose of nature, especially that we were at the Flamingo. And they also have a pelican feeding every day at 8:30 a.m. and 2 p.m. Take a picture at the Las Vegas sign. You cannot leave Las Vegas without doing that. Next thing is to check out the Pawn Star shop. The cool thing about Vegas is that there's so much to do here. If you have a day with nothing left to do, you can literally just walk out on the strip and go to all the different hotels. Some of the really cool hotels to go check out is the Venetian, the Bellagio, New York, Cosmopolitan, and the Paris. And I'm going to give you guys a few more things that are relatively cheap and under $40 per person. First things first, the Voodoo Zipline in the Rio. It's $44 for 2 people, so technically $22, and it's pretty cool. The second thing is the Stratosphere Tower, which I have to say is a must-see. Your first time in Vegas, you've got to go. They have an observation deck all the way at the top. You can see the entire Las Vegas. It's $20 entry to go to the observation deck, and then you get two rides that you can go on. They have a total of 3 rides, so you can go during the daytime or at night, whichever you prefer. Next thing is the Link Ferris wheel. So this one we didn't do because I've done one of these Ferris wheels before, but it is one of the biggest Ferris wheels in the US, I believe, and it does vary for prices, but I believe both are under $40, and they have a daytime price and a nighttime price. The next thing is the Eiffel Tower experience. For 2 people on Groupon, it is $25, and they're daytime passes. So I think if you want to go at night, it might be a different price, but for daytime, it's $25 for 2 people. Next thing is the Golden Nuggets. They have a shark slide, which when I mean by shark slide is you're in like I think it's a 22,000 gallon aquarium with a bunch of sharks, and you go on a slide that's completely glass, and there's sharks like swarming around you. That is $25 on the weekdays. You get to swim as well, so you kind of can be there for as long as you want. Next one is the Slotzilla zip line, which I think is cooler than the one in the Rio. This is at the Fremont, so if you go at night, it would be awesome when they have like their show experience. It's $20 for the sit down and $40 for Superman, so it's pretty cool. The last thing, and one thing I really enjoyed the most, what me and Zach did on our anniversary, was the Venetian gondola rides. You're pretty much on here for like about 15 minutes. It's $29. Yeah, it sounds expensive for $29, but it was really nice. You get roses and then someone sings to you, so it was pretty cool. And the last thing I'm going to talk about, transportation. So how do you get to all these places? Keep in mind, it's very, very hot in Vegas. You're in the middle of the desert, so you can't walk 2 miles with no problem. I mean, unless you're used to the heat, but it's really not that easy. During the day, plan out things that you can do that are less than a mile away so you can walk there. But you can also take an Uber or Lyft someplace farther, and you'll be in an air-conditioned car and everything, so you'll be fine. Another good place, a good way of transportation is the Deuce. It's a bus. I can't talk. The Deuce is also a really great place to get around. It's a bus that you can take and it goes up and down the strip all day. So plan to do as much as you can at night. It's still really hot at night, but it's more manageable. Another tip to know is to get in and out of the airport, you want to reserve a shuttle bus. This is obviously not the most exquisite, luxurious way to get to your hotel, but I highly recommend it because cabs are extremely expensive. You don't know what the traffic's going to be like when you're going to your hotel, and you don't want to just be charged a fortune for that because it's really not that big of a deal. The shuttle bus we got was Beltrans. We spent $24 total for round trip, both me and Zach, so $12 each of us. Last but not least, Vegas is fun, whether you spend a ton of money or not. It's up to your own discretion. Just have a good set of mind going and plan your stuff, do your research. You're gonna have a great time regardless. Splurge on things that you want to splurge on. Don't splurge on things you don't want to splurge on. That's pretty much what I'm gonna say. All right, so that is it for today's vlog. I hope that this was actually really informational for you, and you guys have a wonderful trip if you do decide to go to Vegas. And I will see you guys in the next vlog.